All right, what's going on, guys? And welcome to Breakdowns, the series where we kind of break down the latest and greatest trailers that are happening each and every week. Today, we've got something real special as we got the trailer recently dropped for Oppenheimer, Christopher Nolan's next epic film. I'm very excited about this, and I wanted to take a chance to break down this trailer and what we can kind of deduce, where we can kind of see Christopher Nolan's, marks being left on this trailer, because there are a lot of images kind of being thrown at you here. So we're going to take it frame by frame and really try to, divulge into what we're seeing here. So if you guys enjoy the content, though, please drop a like on this video, as it greatly helps out. Lets me know that you guys enjoy the trailer breakdown. Some of these are really just me talking about what I noticed, what kind of stood out to me, what I found fascinating, and really just theorizing what we potentially could see in the film. And some I do have a lot of insight about, and I try to give as much information as I can. I'm not going to lie to you guys, though. I don't know a lot about Oppenheimer. I've kind of been left in the realm of mystery. However, I did just want to kind of take a moment and go frame by frame and see and maybe talk to you guys about what we could potentially see in this trailer. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So starting out in the trailer, they don't really, they really kick things off with a bang. The first image that you see is really, to me, what feels to be kind of an illustration of what this film is about. If you guys know the story of Oppenheimer, it is the story of Robert J. Oppenheimer, who is a physicist who works with a group of scientists to develop the first nuclear weapons. These weapons obviously found their way into World War II, and it was a pretty climactic time in history. And so for Christopher Nolan to be tackling this is kind of incredible, as we'll get to see this kind of play out in theaters in this way. I think it's really interesting when, directors and film creators take historical moments that have happened and kind of recreate them in film. So obviously, Robert J. Murphy is played, or Robert J. Oppenheimer is played by Cillian Murphy. And I believe that this first image that we're seeing is of Cillian Murphy opening his eyes. I want to say, I'm not sure. I've looked at it a couple times and I'm never sure. And then what it looks to be like atoms, that's kind of like the artistic thought that came to my mind, is atoms being similar to these raindrops that you see here. We have to understand that when it comes to Christopher Nolan and specifically films, I love doing trailer breakdowns for his work, because every image that you're seeing in this trailer is something. Nothing is mistaken, and it's not just raindrops that you're seeing. Oh, it's raining. That's cool. No, this is it's like parallels being formed in your mind to give you a greater appreciation of the film and the work, and how they kind of have, nothing was created and placed by mistake. So as you can see, if we back it up here, we go straight from seeing the atomic bomb. We go straight from there to seeing someone opening their eyes, which might just be kind of an illustration of the epicness, like the kind of bombastic nature of an atomic bomb. And then we go into what appears to be little nuances of light, which could potentially be atoms. It could potentially be ashes. And then we go into the waves, the ripple effect of this. Now, this ripple effect, we could take it into a poetic sense and say the ripple effect of creating these atomic bombs, and now everybody wants to create them, or we could talk about how these atomic bombs landing on different countries has a ripple effect, and so many people are affected by this, or it could just be the massive destructive nature of an atomic bomb. Then we go into seeing some rain, which could be Cillian Murphy's character in the background, possibly. Yeah, once again, he could just be staring out the window in the morning, kind of thinking about what, the decision of what he's making, right? Then we go in to see clouds. Those clouds could be, this, I may be reaching here, okay? I may be reaching, but this is, it's a breakdown, right? We're just kind of, we're theorizing here. And so my interpretation of this cloud could potentially be the mushroom cloud, right? Something similar to the sky. When I first time I saw this, I instantly thought of a mushroom cloud, and just, thinking about how it relates to an atomic bomb. That's kind of the thing that I took from it. Then moving on from there, these are obviously the facilities where the atomic bomb is likely being developed by Oppenheimer and his team. And this is likely where much of the film is going to take place. And we get our first look, or our first real look here, at Cillian Murphy playing Robert J. Oppenheimer. Cillian Murphy's an incredible actor, so I'm very, very pleased that they got him in this role. Then we bounce back once again to an image of obviously looking at the destructive nature of what creates an atomic bomb, all of these chemicals being utilized together, to create a bomb. I'm not an expert on creating weapons of mass destruction, so I honestly don't know some of these images that we're looking at. All I can do is deduce what potentially is happening. Much of this film, if we pause it here, is likely going to be placed around the creation of this atomic weapon. And so that is likely what we're going to be seeing, is his team, developing or coming up with the physics and the idea behind it, the numbers, the ratios, how it can all come together. I'm sure that's much of what we're going to be seeing, and I'm kind of interested in that. I think that's going to be a really interesting kind of place to be in the film, is watching this all come together. It's a bit of information that a lot of people likely don't realize or understand. And I'm sure there's a heavy weight that comes with that too, that we're likely going to see with, Oppenheimer and Cillian Murphy's character. And then we see marbles, which could potentially be the Earth. I'm not exactly sure where that comes in. Then we fast forward to another image of what appears to be potentially what's inside the atomic bomb. And then likely what we're seeing in these images is their testing of this and their crafting of this weapon throughout the film. That's at least what I took from it. Let me know in the comment section below if you guys, if something else comes to mind, something else that some image that comes to your mind when you think about this, and what appears to be in this scene the core of the atomic bomb is being placed inside the shell itself. And when I see images like this, I continue just to think that that's just what's inside it. You could see Cillian Murphy's character, Oppenheimer, as they place the final components inside. And throughout this kind of trailer, you hear him speak and talk about not only the destructive nature of this weapon, but the destructive nature of the idea and kind of the desire of people to want to get their hands on it. And then we move on from there. Sparks, obviously Cillian Murphy's character is kind of a big deal. Oppenheimer is a big deal. This was back in the early 1900s, and he's being photographed in this scene. And you can see people following him as they probably try to get, pick his brain about this idea, about this bomb that he's making or a part of creating. And then once again, just continuously throughout this trailer, flashing images back to the kind of destructive nature of this weapon. Once again, I every time I see this, I think of like lava or magma or something. Again, I don't know how an atomic bomb is created or necessarily what's inside, but I'm sure that's exactly what we're going to learn in this trailer. Then we go back to Cillian Murphy's character. A lot of the transitions between this go back from him obviously being the physicist behind this weapon, and then going to the weapon itself and the nuances of creating this weapon. I love the beautiful shots that we get in this film too. Just some of the textures and the cinematography of some of these shots, really, you can sense Christopher Nolan's kind of touch in this trailer, in this work. It's undeniable that he is very well involved in this project. You know what I mean? And so once again, moving on, random images, them obviously potentially testing it or testing a version of it, something like that. And then once again, just beautiful imagery, testing the weapon, the science behind it all. And I kind of like, when I was in school, guys, I kind of liked physics a little bit. I found myself liking it more than I thought. So I'm sure we're going to see a lot of physics involved in this film. And then the weapon itself, I would assume. And then once again, shots back to Cillian Murphy's character. There's a lot of parallels here between the weapon and him. The weapon and him. They kind of do this bouncing back and forth thing. But you can see him in the look in his eyes. It almost feels like he's grappling with this decision and grappling with what potentially the outcome and the ripple effect, as we saw in the raindrops, could be of this. And then we get just an incredibly beautiful shot that almost looks like the telescope that they invented, that we saw images of. We got to see really high-res images of the galaxy. That's kind of what I see in here, but you can just see at the very center just a white light, which potentially could be the after effect of the explosion, or it could be inside the weapon itself. I wasn't exactly sure what I was looking at here, but again, could be imagery, could be a parallel to something greater. It's really for us to deduce, which is why I really love doing these trailer breakdowns. And then all of that just leading to from Christopher Nolan. And then we get the beautiful text popping up of Oppenheimer. I mean, it's nice. It's a really solid trailer. And once again, the open land, very wide open land. This is likely where they are testing this weapon. And then you see at this image here, it says stop at guard station for identification and clearance. And then we also see them, what appears to be them watching it, maybe a watchtower of some kind to observe testing. I honestly, much of this trailer breakdown is really just my best guesstimation of what we potentially could be looking at. Then we get another image here of some of the key characters in the film. We get Jack Quaid, who I really enjoy Jack Quaid. Very spitting image of his father, and he's actually really good. He's a really good actor. I mean, if you guys have seen The Boys, you likely have seen his work. He's been in a couple of other projects. One of the earliest projects that I remember seeing him in was Hunger Games 2. You know what it is. And then we kind of move on from there, seeing the weapon obviously being risen up, potentially tested. And then you can see Cillian Murphy's character, a couple of other key figures. I knew it. Okay, guys, I had a feeling when we saw the trailer for the first time. I wanted to say in my trailer reaction, was that Josh Peck? But it happened so fast that I didn't want to be wrong. But now that we're seeing it, that is Josh Peck. He is in Oppenheimer. That's really cool. That is very cool. And then once again, them testing it. I'm not exactly sure what role Josh Peck is going to be playing in this film, but I'm definitely excited to see it now. I'm a big fan of his work. Have been since Nickelodeon days, so he's always been one of my favorite actors. And then once again, Cillian Murphy, his character, Robert J. Oppenheimer. I've loved Cillian Murphy ever since, like, I mean, he really hit my radar was Inception, obviously, but he's been in a number of other great, incredible projects that I've always enjoyed him in. And then again, just images, shots, shot for shot of just the weapon and Oppenheimer, the weapon, Oppenheimer, him being near the weapon, him observing the weapon itself, and then him. You know, there's a lot of that happening in this film. Just a lot of parallels and things like that get you thinking. And I feel like that's what a good trailer does. It just kind of gets you thinking. Then we go back to Jack Quaid. And then once again, what looks to be the destructive nature of the bomb. Maybe the forming of the weapon. Them testing the weapon, obviously. Potential countdown of the weapon. There's so much that you could pull from this trailer, but just know that they're doing the beautiful images that they create in this trailer continue to show the destructive power of this weapon. And ladies and gentlemen, that is Oppenheimer. That is the trailer for Oppenheimer. It comes out summer of 2023. Let me know if you guys enjoyed the trailer breakdown. Any support on this video greatly helps out. Drop a like on this video if you do enjoy all that good YouTube stuff. Subscribe for more trailer breakdowns in the future. All that good stuff. As always, guys, I'm excited for this film. I think it's going to be really interesting. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the trailer breakdown. I tried to break it down in the best knowledge that I could. But again, a lot of this is my best guesstimation of what we potentially could be looking at. But I like the fun in that. It's nice to just kind of dissect the trailer for a film that you're excited about and kind of, you know, sharing that with people. So again, if you guys did enjoy that and you want to see more, dropping a like is the best way to let me know that you want to see more content like this in the future. I'm more than happy to do future trailer breakdowns. We've got trailers coming out all the time, and I love reacting to them and watching them, all that good YouTube stuff. And yeah, subscribe if you're new here, guys. We'd love to have you become part of the community. But until then, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're safe. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate your support, and I will see you in the next one.